Quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies. Shall we, Winfrey?
Yes, of course.
We're going to start with the Daily Independent this morning. Today is Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. Nigerian military draws flags for frequent friendly fire. Army claims responsibility for bombing innocent Kaduna villages. Over 85 killed, dozens injured. Search and rescue still ongoing. It's avoidable result of intelligence failure, tactical incompetence, and Kaduna governor orders investigation into killing and calls for calm. Top left there, it says reps to make public participation in budget process compulsory, according to Speaker. 15 billion naira new house for vice president. Shocking, disheartening, says Obi. Beside the photo story here, it says we funded only 422 delegates to COP28. Federal government replies critics. And NMPP backs court rulings, says Kano governor, not registered member. Emefiele, Nigerians in U.S. raise alarm over human rights violation by Tinubu's government. Federal government settles 52 million naira fines compensation for 399 inmates in Kaduna. And what do we have here? Beneath the photo story here, it says registration of underage voters. Court gives INEC 90 days to hand over officials for prosecution. All right, so the first story that jumps out at me is the funding for the delegates to COP28. And it did go viral on social media, a particular post that had a list of numbers, unverified, to be honest. Once a claim is made like that, the numbers couldn't have been verified. But it says here that the federal government has, put out a statement and gave a list. I even read the list out during the news update earlier on. 422 rather than over 1,000 that the post made. Now, that is one of the challenges of social media. When things go out on social media, sometimes you just have no idea what to believe.
Yes, okay. So, no, it actually wasn't a refutal of the fact that over 1,000 people traveled. Now, the issue was who funded it, right? So now they have come out to say, the federal government has come out to say that they funded only 422. Now, is that an acceptable number? I think it's still a question on a lot of people's minds, right? To say, okay, fine, for COP28, do we need 422 delegates funded from the country's purse to this particular gathering? So I think that is just where a lot of people are just still bothered about, considering everything happening in the economy and all of that.
The whole theme of COP28 itself, climate change, it's a bigger deal than a lot of people have made it out to be beforehand. And there are so many issues to be addressed, so many different agencies involved in it. We are watching the story. And in fact, the story does come up again on the cover of The Nation newspaper. It says here, Nigeria's delegation to COP28 is 422, says Minister Idris lists gains of summit. So here in The Nation newspaper, the gains of the COP28 summit are addressed and it continues on page 4. The major headline here, however, is government orders probe after airstrikes killed civilians. We did see that on the Daily Independent as well. Scores die, many injured. Attack not intentional, says Army. The story starts there on the cover and goes on to page 4. Labour to negotiate minimum wage commensurate with cost of living. Story starting there and continuing on page 5. MDAs, 300 MDAs failed to submit audited accounts to Auditor General, according to the deadline that I believe was announced sometime last week. Emefiele seeks variation of bail condition. Oil sector hit by influx of federal welders. And it also says here on the budget hearing, why Nigerians should participate in the process. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
Yes, of course.
Let's see what we have on the Nigerian Tribune.
So for the Nigerian Tribune, we have Kaduna government. Army admits error as airstrike kills scores in village. And for the riders there, we have over 80 civilians killed during Maulud Nabi celebration, residents claim. Kaduna governor orders probe. We have that story on page 4. And at the top left of the paper, there we have UK introduces stricter visa measures to curb immigration. We have that on page 8. That's actually off the topic we spoke about during the coffee gist. For more details, see page 8. To the right of that, we have the image of the president, and we have federal government says for 22, not 1,411 delegates sponsored to COP28 summit. We have that on page 3. And beside the image there, we have pandemonium as DSS, NSCDC clash at Ado Hospital. We have that story on page 25. Below that, we have alleged underage voters. Court gives INEC 90 days to hand over officials for persecution. We have that on page 14. Below there, we have anxiety as 16 APC platoon assembly members elect set for inauguration, page 15. And below there, we have APC postpones inauguration of standing committees, and we have a number of other headlines there as well.
I was taking a quick look at the photo story there. Powerful picture. The former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton,
yes.
Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and the Sustainability Officer, Maha Al-Katan. That's at COP28 in Dubai. It does seem like an amazing list of delegates right there at COP28 this year.
And they're all women right there. I love it.
Quite a lot of them, yes.
Yes, of course. Yes.
It's interesting times.
Yes, and I think something I would like to also touch on is the Kaduna bombing, the airstrike situation that kills quite a lot of people. I like the fact that they have taken responsibility for this particular one as opposed to others, and a probe has been requested on this. So we'll literally just wait and hold on for more details on that one. So, yes.
And at this point, we have to wrap it up on the headlines in the dailies for this morning. You can, of course, share your thoughts on what we've seen on the dailies today. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TV.